A warm welcome back to today's industry recap. From Lufthansa news to developments at Emirates. The Dubai-based carrier says it is investing a staggering $5 billion to overhaul its interior product across its fleet. However, a significant investment has seen its priority and need to be completed promptly rate increase tenfold due to the continued complications in acquiring new aircraft. The process, which involves some 220 currently active planes in the Emirates fleet, aims to pivot therefore away from the typical business model we have seen for so long, which has generally seen the company rely on a youthful fleet and not keep aircraft on any longer than it has to, and that means that its average age is normally lower than most other airlines, and planes that would be still considered optimal for maybe one company are not seen that way anymore for Emirates. Out with the medium-aged and in with the new. That business model, however, is going to change as Emirates battles delays in growing its network and fleet. The Dubai-based carrier sees no way of staying ahead if it continues to fly older models that would have ideally been retired, but it believes that it can make a force for change with these planes if they are expected to stick around. The airline's president, Sir Tim Clark, reaffirmed this overall stance, saying dramatic measures must be taken to ensure it can remain competitive. In contrast, neighbouring airlines, while facing the exact same complications at a varying rate, are continuing to advance in a rapid manner. Emirates just doesn't want to fall behind. The 220 aircraft are, unsurprisingly, across the two currently active aircraft programs that have been there for a little bit longer than the A350, that is your 777 and A380. Two business workhorses. They will undergo a significant, or are undergoing a significant retro program to align the product on these jets with the incoming next generation units and also to compete better with competition. Moreover, Emirates wants to continue offering, as I touched on, just the best cabin product it can do. Therefore, continued refreshes and investments are necessary, even if the airline, say, wasn't facing supply chain constraints with new planes. However, again, the rate at which this investment is being undertaken is ultimately quicker than what may have been imagined first, and the scope of the aircraft involved has also grown. You'd probably find that the amount of planes that were going to be in the retrofit was not going to be the 220 initially. In fact, if you have a look through announcements across the last 2 years, you may notice that on several occasions, Emirates has announced more and more aircraft were to be added to this retrofit program. There are many reasons for this, but no doubt playing a role has been an inability to get those new planes on that should have already been delivered and facilitated the eventual retirement of some of your older planes. Undertaking work in the safest way possible is essential, but Emirates is really clear that it's powering ahead with its engineering team, trying to do things in the fastest manner possible as well. They're all fully committed to the overhaul process and undergoing the work to return the planes to service, but again, doing this ASAP to limit the overall impact to their global network. The carrier's Airbus A380s are the ones that are really expected to be in service for a considerable period. The airline will likely be the last to fly the world's largest passenger plane. Executives have stated that they believe the jet will be operational into the early 2040s. Driven for many reasons, one, definitely its love for this aircraft type that I've touched on many a times, but also the lack of a dedicated replacement and the calls for the A380neo thus far going unanswered. Emirates knows there's nothing coming to market at the moment that will replace the A380 adequately, so they want to keep them around as long as possible, almost delaying the inevitable, but trying to stretch as much life out of this plane that they can. While Emirates prioritizes retrofitting its current operational fleet, persistent delays are a driving force behind its inability to prepare for the next generation of plane. Emirates is set to heavily rely on the Boeing 777X, an upcoming wide-body jet, really looking to redefine long-haul flying in a way more efficient manner, and obviously act as the perfect replacement to the 777 series. Something that you've got to remember too, Emirates has a pretty firm relationship with. Their relationship with the new aircraft in the 777X, though, well, it's been anything but smooth sailing. Tim Clark consistently has called out Boeing, the jet maker, for its continued delays, which have knock-on effects. Expected to initially enter service in 2020, a global pandemic among many things delayed that, with external and internal problems at Boeing. Now, as we sit in the mid-2020s, while the jet remains undelivered and uncertified, and while publicly a 2026 timeframe has been put forward, Emirates is already expressing their concerns that this won't be met. Their new forecasting suggests that they look to expect it in Q2 or around the midway point of 2027, and at worst, a 2028 first delivery, adding a year to almost 2 on top of what Boeing most recently forecasted. Time will tell whether that's a ploy to get in better deals and contracts for the future, or them just being wary remains to be seen, but based on the continued cancellation of previous timelines, you think that Emirates certainly feels in their right to have these concerns. Over to the final story, Lufthansa is Germany's flag carrier, and we know they have a big responsibility to the people of this country and broader Europe, but their own delivery delays have rampaged through the company. Now, looking back at 2024, the group has really reflected on the year that was, highlighting that it felt it was really a year of two halves, with significant challenges in each half. It was a far from optimal 12 months, with delivery delays, strike action in the first half of the year, increased operating costs, and challenges across multiple hubs. Lufthansa Group has long considered its mainline brand to be the problem child across the business, and has been heavily investing in trying to turn the fortunes around here. It feels a well-working and financially proven Lufthansa is key to the success of the group, but we know that this is a process that will not reap the rewards overnight and will test the patience of all involved. The performance across what would be a typically busy summer period was mixed. Lufthansa Group highlighted factors such as a decline in yields during this summer season and other mixed performance metrics, resulting in maybe your results not being as high as expected. Time and time again, however, in press releases announcing these results, one thing has always stood out, and that is the business's challenges amid delivery woes. It's been a continued focus even in their most recent press release. The vast majority of airlines that are expecting to take delivery of new planes and are facing delays in acquiring these. However, the level of impact does adjust depending on your situation. You might have one plane delayed or 100. Lufthansa has been one of the more brutal hit, and was certainly in the process of a renewal effort that has basically been put on hold. It should be, however, very much grateful that it has the ability to retain older planes for an extended period, so at the very least it's able to mitigate capacity lost to the best of its ability. But this doesn't mean everything's all fine and dandy. There are still effects on the business. The German flag carrier came out and stated that these older planes in the group see far higher operating costs, ranging from fuel, crew, and nowadays stretching to maintenance. The reality is these planes are getting on, and they would have been retired 3-4 years ago in an ideal world. Now, when is it ever an ideal world? But either way, that's adding 3, 4, 5, 6 years onto the operational life than what was initially expected, and more regular maintenance is going to be required over a plane that is 6 months of age, and is thrown forecasting out the window in terms of earnings. There remains a great deal of uncertainty of when these planes will actually arrive in the hands of Lufthansa, and again, your forecasting is very unpredictable. They have tentatively stated, though, that throughout 2025, they're hoping for one new plane from Airbus and Boeing every 2 weeks. So, based on this estimation, renewal should keep progressing. And the Lufthansa CEO says it's hoping things will continue to improve over at Boeing, with the new administration there trying to push Boeing in the right direction. Maybe delivery delays will ease. But it is hard. There are many unknowns, and this is really what is throwing curveballs to airlines. Let me know your thoughts on the two stories, really focusing on delays and the impact that they are having, such as Emirates' investment, down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, take care, do be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for your next industry recap.
And we'll fly.